Hello everybody, welcome back to the Contest Round podcast. This is episode 47 as we push to nearly... Actually, I think we're at a point, this is our year mark. Dan,
Yeah, we started last January at the top of the year.
God, so there we go.
Little did we know.
Little did we know where we are. 12. We've done 12 months, 1 year gang already.
We made it.
If you don't know already, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud. And as I've kind of already said, Dan's here. He's the co-host as well. Hey! You can find him on www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog. Links are always in bios. Make sure to bookmark. And why you should bookmark is because when it comes to side event information, it's always going to be a case you'll find that information of broken down. Join us over on www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog.
I know so many searches on the site this month. It's just like token, Jubilee token, arcade. It's like, okay, I know what you guys want. And it's funny because when I initially read the side quest post, I was like, oh, like this seems pretty detailed. Like this should cover everything. Maybe I don't need to do this one because they've answered all the questions. And then I started diving into it, and I was like, no, I'll just write it. And now it's like, it's the most popular article so far of the month by far. It's just it's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean it's up there. It's actually getting close to. If I had released the article in 2020, it would have been like a top 10 article in 2020. So it's and we're halfway through the month. So yeah, it's you guys who are visiting Frontline, I appreciate it because you continue to push the stats higher and higher. It's been an amazing run. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things where would you think that you're in the last 12 months, have you seen like significant growths on a monthly basis based on, well, to be honest, you were when I first met you, I think you were, where were you pushing like a lot of your numbers? Like you were, I want to say you were below or just about 1,000 followers on Twitter and
and that's getting close to 2,500. So yeah, I mean it's crazy because there's definitely been some leveling up that's occurred with the numbers. So yeah, I mean in November that was the first 100,000 visit month.
Ooh,
and December was a little bit more. This month I'm on pace for about 150,000 site views. I don't know if we're going to get that. But definitely looks like we're gonna do better than December, which was a record. So
yeah,
it's it's one of those things is you have to work hard. I think a lot of people get discouraged sometimes with content creation because they only create 3 or 4 things and they're like, oh, nothing caught on yet. And it's like it takes a long time to build up your audience and I mean you must see it in your videos. Like you think you probably haven't done an Act 5 video in forever, but that stuff is there as a historical document, and there's always new players that are trying to take down the collector. So that stuff kind of is like an annuity when it comes to traffic.
Yeah, I do feel that like there's a lot of stuff with my main channel I want to do so much work on. Like there was like I had these plans for December. I was going to redo every single guide. I just didn't end up doing it because it was so new
that's
content.
A mammoth task.
To keep up to date with the grind and as well to do stuff I want to do. But I missed out on a lot of stuff I wanted to do, which was the only thing that I managed to achieve was to do an Abyss of Legends Easy Path guide. That was the only thing I managed to achieve to do.
Well, that's pretty pertinent, though.
Yeah, I kind of was, and that's the thing. Because a lot of this content, a lot of the grind in December, I did, to a degree, burn myself out from MCOC.
Yeah.
And that's kind of self-evident this month where I find myself more interested to grow Rich's realm a bit more. Because that's the other thing. We'll kind of, I guess, I'll talk about it now because it's kind of part of what we've just kind of started talking about. Because it's not like, it just takes me back to when I started out doing YouTube. When I did YouTube, it was a case I did it for the enjoyment factor. It was like just a part-time thing.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there was like, okay, well, this is starting to gain money, but I've still got this full-time managerial job. I've got my managerial degrees and stuff. I'm still doing pretty well with that. And then several things happen and whatnot, and then it's like, okay, well, now this is more of something I might push as a career, and I'm pushing it as a career. But it takes me back. Rich's Realm takes me back to when I first started out YouTube, and I didn't have a massive channel, but it's something that I'm kind of like, it's a passion piece, and it's very different because my Marvel Realm grind is not about news. I don't do news on. Yeah, I cover current events. But it's not because I'm pushing for the competitive edges of Marvel Realm of Champions. I've got very little interest in covering news and updates. Whereas with the other channel, I'm mainly known for news, information, and grind guides. That's pretty much it. But with Rich's Realm, I'm pushing a narrative of I'm here to be the best of the best, to win loads of matches, to do all these competitive things, and just be the best I can possibly be, and hopefully enter tournaments and win.
Yeah, and it's fun because it's something new, and you're approaching it in a different way. And as far as the content creation, even though obviously you'll take the money from it, it doesn't have the same pressure, I guess, as Rich's Realm. As the main channel does that you do on Rich's Realm. So
that's the thing. There's no huge money making from this. It's pretty much just like a somewhat loss to me. But the difference is like, again, just to reiterate why I got in. This channel is all about me getting into something wholeheartedly, and it's just, and the same thing with like Marvel Future Revolution. And there's not huge numbers around this game. I don't know if there will be around Future Revolution, but it's all about growing this. And I want to help kind of grow the game, but also kind of work on something from the bottom upwards, and also do it from a free-to-play standpoint. But that's what I'm enjoying at the moment. But I've kind of derailed what we're going to talk. Let's bring it back.
We'll go over to contest for a little bit, and then we got something a little different that we're going to do in the middle.
Yes, I actually quite like this.
Which we're both excited about, and then we'll finish off with some more Realm, because we got a bunch to talk about there.
Yeah.
But over in Marvel Contest of Champions, you may have got this question a couple times, but people were anxious to get their gifting rewards. So that was a common question. And, I thought we were going to get through this gifting event with no drama, but that was incorrect because there was drama. How do you feel about the drama? I don't think this year's drama is anywhere close to what happened last year.
No, it's something that really reflects different standpoints of... Well, look, at the end of the day, is everybody going to trust Kabam in what they're doing? No, they're not. Right?
Yeah, and some people just hate gifting.
And just hate gifting, yeah. I still have my kind of like questions as to, cheating and all that, and are they properly vetted and things like that. And again, it's like the full thing going like, look, can I 100% trust Kabam? I'd like to think so. They are the developer that's making games, but at the same time, I understand where people are coming from not to trust them. But going back to the point of the types of things being done. Now, I just uploaded a video today, so Friday, which looked at what people were doing from growing side accounts for the purpose of gathering units.
Right.
I did see a response from Queen Sarah. He said something like, "Oh, if you do the main account, you can get 27,000 units upwards a year," and that's not really the point of why people are doing the side event. These side accounts for build. Either they're doing less grind in arena for maximum take home of units for less effort, and as well they're kind of sort of exploit. Not well. Look, I'm going to use the term exploiting the idea around a new account where you're able to gather units very quickly or somewhat quickly.
Yes, there's an efficiency to it.
That's the one. That's the word.
That you don't have with your main account. And I think there was a lot of times like, well, you just pop in and you just auto fight. right? Or maybe if you arena grind, you're just doing like the first couple milestones because they're very easy to achieve, and then you're just saving up all year, right? Because you don't have to spend any of those units on revives or war or really difficult content, right? You can just let them add up. You collect your calendar, and it's a nice stack of units after 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, I have considered it myself as something I might or might not want to do. It's just something I just got too much on in myself that it would just be too much of a. No, it's not a waste of time. It's a side distraction. Because I want to, I want to and need to focus on my grind in Marvel Realm, MCOC, and whatever kind of other game that may kind of like drop all of a sudden that I might want to pick up. I do see value in it. Will Kabam look to deal with it in this year's gifting event? I don't know. I mean, if I were them, I would look into. If it's not, if I was to guess Kabam, I would say they may look into what they did with, what was it, 2019's, where they banned new account usage. But to be honest, in this kind of circumstance, you could start it'd be null and void, because if you started building an account this year, people and Kabam go, oh yeah, well you can't trade to side accounts. It'd be like, well, what's the point of creating a free to play account? YouTube.
I mean, how are they even going to police that?
Exactly.
Though? Like can you imagine the amount of work?
Yeah.
Like I don't see it. And if it's a case where people are legitimately buying units on a side account so they could then just shift the gifting crystals over to their main account, well, that's still a legitimate purchase.
Yep.
So I think that's what happened with some of those accounts. Now, obviously, if someone's stealing gift cards or credit card numbers, like that's illegal. That's different. Like clearly that is a bannable offense, and well, a lot more than that. That's real world repercussions if you're doing those kind of things. So I get it. I think it definitely feels like they cleaned up the worst part of last year's event. That will satisfy some and not others. I think decreasing the alliance rewards probably helped cut down on some of the shenanigans because there just wasn't the incentive. I mean, if your position is gifting should go away because it's never going to be 100% clean, well, it's like, then they're just going to have to close the servers. I don't know what to tell you. Like there's always going to be someone hacking and trying to cheat in Alliance War or try to do botting arena or something. That doesn't mean you kill off the whole game. That just means you have to be vigilant and try to clean it up as much as you can.
Yeah. And this is the thing I said in the video on Friday today, is that the argument between both sides will be people that would feel that it would be unfair for people to have these side accounts grown. Does it kind of like eat into the integrity of the event?
I mean, the integrity of the event is to spend as much money as possible.
Yeah.
This, like I don't know what to say about that. Like,
it just depends on the integrity of it. I don't know if you kind of go down the route of like, is this the integrity of the competitive nature of trading stuff?
Well, they've kind of pushed back. Like we use it as a trading event mostly, but they've been pretty resistant to the messaging around trading because how many times have we seen a proposal over the years? It was like, hey guys, what if there was a trade window? Because of course that would take out some of the scamming elements of the global chat during the gifting. That is not a place to hang out, kids.
No, it's not. Go to global, get scammed.
Yeah, go to global, get scammed. Yeah, 2 steps. But that's been brought up. I mean, that's been a thing since the first gifting event, and they've always been like, well, it's a gifting event. It's not a trading event. And we was like, okay, well, that you call it gifting, but we tend to use it as trading.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. They've always pushed back on that. So I doubt they would end up building that out just because they don't seem too receptive to that based on any of the responses I've seen to that suggestion over the years.
Yeah, because it's the thing, you're like going like, okay, does anybody want to trade? Oh, I want to gift. Oh, okay, you can gift with me, and we'll trade. Here's me sending you first. I've gifted you the crystal. Oh, well, I don't believe in this. I didn't buy him for gifting. I was talking about trading, but thank you for your free gift. I'm off. There's the narrative with that, if we're going very literal with it. That's like if Drax did an event. That's very, very clever. Very, very clever.
Drax should do an event. For maybe we need a Dave Bautista celebrity challenge for Guardians 3 when that comes out.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. You could make up something with it, like you have to go and do a dex, and he's like, I didn't ask you to dex. I asked you to, you know, like there's loads of
just very literal objectives.
That's it. Yeah, very literal objectives.
Yes.
And see how everyone's confusion might go with that. Yeah.
I know. Oh, that would just explode people's brains.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been kind of the story of the moving on to the side quest. That's kind of been the story of the side quest is the arcades aren't that hard. It's more just the narrative around the event and people understanding the steps and when their tokens arrive, and the continued back and forth about the best way to spend the tokens. The fights are fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's not overly grindy. The rewards feel good. It's more than mass confusion.
Yeah, I think it was like what did I put this down to? I think I said today in MCC News is something like, this is one of these events that Kabam do where you get something to get another thing, to then use something to unlock something to get something, which means something to something that you then have to either give an option of swapping to then repeat the first like.
There's a lot of steps.
Yeah,
I have had to explain this to so many people. They're just like, where do I get the prize card? I was like, it's in the store, and they're like, I don't see it. I'll send them the picture, and they're like, oh, that's not a profile picture. I was like, no, dude, that's not a profile picture.
So I'm already done with it, to be honest. I mean, I didn't do another video because I just thought I'm done with it. Not to say, I am actually just like, I'm a little bit bored with the side event, to be honest. Like the way that it's
nothing special.
Exactly. It's just there's nothing, and that's the problem. I understand Kabam would have like chuck a load of content in December, but for me, I kind of like reached a point of just hitting the tippity top, and then it's like I just kind of went, oh right, yeah, we're good. Oh, and then I'm like, meh. But happens from time to time. I get like a lot of people are saying on the forums as well. Today we saw that there was a large amount of people that were saying that they did not enjoy the way that this was kind of brought to us in the way that it was structured. And even though like for me it's fine, I already knew what I was going to do. The problem is like then when you come to explain to other people what you want to do, but also then butt heads with people that go, I'm going in this direction, and it's like, that's fine. Like, do I present all of the different narratives of journeys? Like you can do X amount of this one and X amount of that one, but at the same time you could also do X amount of a different difficulty, but it restricts you for getting the tier 5 class catalyst from Cavalier, which is just
which is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
That's a big trade-off, and you have to understand that. I think those trade-offs are what can rub people the wrong way with this event, because for whatever reason, just the way it's constructed, like sometimes it seems like a choice, and you're like, like I'd prefer this over that, so I'll go in this direction. But this one, it's a little bit more like, well, if I spend my tokens this way, I'm gonna miss out on this other thing. Because I don't think people like that they feel like they're sacrificing one set of rewards if they want to get the Cavalier objective.
Yeah.
I think that's where the I think that's where the bad taste comes from. I mean, for me, whatever. I'm gonna get the Cavalier objective. I'm going rank up for set 2. I want all the T5CC I can get, and I'll just move on from there.
Yeah, I might go just shards, but I still haven't decided what I'm.
It's
I'm
a nice
doing.
chunk of shards.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to save.
It's a nice chunk.
I want to add some more to like next week. I go to try and in throughout the week. I think Monday through to the weekend, I'm going to try and 100% a 7.1, and then I think if my time goes well and Kabam have fixed Aegon, I might be able to do at least 2 to 3 paths of Abyss of Legends. But I need to sort out Aegon being hit as opposed to hitting.
Well, one of the many bugs going on right now with key champions, Aegon, Nick Fury, that the pre-fight Human Torch thing is still floating around for some people. I know Omega Red's one that's been talked about for a while. So there's some key champs that have complicated kits that are not functioning at 100% right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Kabam are trying to fix this. It's just it's one of these situations because these are very special characters and special champions to players from a usage perspective and so many other perspectives. Really, it's just a bit upsetting, really, especially because it's all happened in 1 month.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, this has been a rough update, and then you tack on the Spider-Ham crashes the game update bug. That one's brutal. I haven't run into it, but if that hits you at the wrong time, look out.
Yeah, I had that the other day. As soon as I got Spider-Ham, I think it was on my opening on Tuesday, I had it then. I then went to try and record something on Wednesday and Thursday. No, it was Wednesday, and it was fine. So, but then there's other people that are experiencing the problem. So it's like it seems very mixed. In some players have it, some players don't, and it's just we don't have consistency across the board when it comes to fixes.
I think that's the biggest problem, right? Is that it's not consistent. If it's the event's not active for everybody, that's a yes no, right?
Yeah.
That's black and white. That's on or off. That's great. But things like Human Torch and Nick Fury with the persistent charge disappearing, right? Like I play map 7. I'm on the tunnel vision path.
Yeah.
It's actually 2 paths in whatever variation that is. So my team for that path is Corvus, Nick Fury, and Human Torch. And I have not once run into the Nick Fury or Human Torch bug. Oh. And there's other people that run into it all the time, right? And like I just had a guy hit me up earlier in one of my chats, and he was like, "Hey, I'm about to take on Dr. Doom boss, and the Torch doesn't have his persistent charge." It's like, all right, we'll close the game, reload it. Hopefully, it comes back. That's a known issue. But if you're about to take on a Doom boss in war, you kind of want that pre-fight. You're probably counting on that.
Absolutely. God damn, man.
That's stressful stuff.
Yeah. Right, I think we've and that's the thing, there's not a huge amount going on with MCOC at the moment.
Yeah, nothing new. We did have a WandaVision bundle today, but not the new Scarlet Witch. So
no.
That question still hangs over our heads.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, because this is what we're going to be moving on to talk about now, like the WandaVision TV series, is how that all kind of functions into the narrative of things, and like, will there be something in the game? Will there be something at the end of it? It's kind of weird that there was a WandaVision special bundle thing that kind of came up all of a sudden. But yeah, which maybe explains why we never saw a Vision offer this fall. Maybe they were holding that to more coincide with the show, but we still have no idea what's happening with the Sigil.
the new version of Scarlet Witch. Well, do we even know that she's Sigil?
Well, I don't think she is, because we've got Scarlet Witch is now turned into classic Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch Classic. So is she just going to be Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. I mean, that could have been just a working title to differentiate them, and then they changed it over because, like, Captain Marvel movie is not Captain Marvel movie in game. She's just Captain Marvel. That's the actual name of that character.
Yeah, I think she had like her running title was Captain Marvel movie, and then it was I think it was just like a placeholder name.
Right.
But I think it's now time to move on to what will be a new section in the podcast, which I think we're very excited to add this in.
Oh, yes.
We are going to dissect or talk about, for a chunk of time, WandaVision, but we're going to do it episodically. Now, there has been 2 episodes already out, but we're going to do episode 1 this week, episode 2 next week, and kind of do it as a running theme because, it then means that people have seen it. So if you haven't seen it, we're going to do spoilers. So spoiler alert for those that haven't seen.
Pause the podcast, take 26 minutes and watch WandaVision, and then come back to us.
Yeah, exactly. And now
yes, episode 1 is out. We're back in the MCU. Like, how great was it just to see the Marvel Cinematic trailer roll with all the different Avengers in that? It was like, oh man, it's been a while since I've seen that. That alone got me excited. Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, it was good to see that part. And then when we're presented with the start of the show, and it's very much in old time. I don't know if this is 1940s or 1950s. I can't really tell with some of the it's a little hard to tell. Like, it definitely seems like that they are riffing off of I Love Lucy and Bewitched. Like those, I want to say those are more 60s, but I Love Lucy maybe earlier. But that's the vibe, right? Yeah. I think for me, it's like the start point is you're just you become immersed in that kind of like age and that period. Yeah. And this is the massive problem that I have is this is the moment where we either figure out how these TV series are going to go, from finding out what's happened from the events of the finish of Endgame to where we start with this. And this is meant to be one of these shows that's a slow burn that kind of like has little things here and there that kind of...
Right, yeah. This is going to be the peeling back of the onion. Like, we have no idea what's actually going on in the show after one episode.
Exactly.
Like, if to fast forward to the end, like, it seems like someone in universe is watching the Wanda TV show, right?
Yeah. Someone's from the outside.
So we have no idea. Like, we're jumping in cold. We have no idea what Wanda did. What was that, Rich?
I was going to say that it's just like it's we're watching in from the out. We only learn at the end of that particular series that someone is watching in from the outside.
Yeah.
To the inn, and there's I found that the show was very slow to get off the start. And I was kind of wondering when the manifestation of Wanda's mental state, which is effectively creating this reality, is going to kick in. And it only kind of really got to, for me, really good, where we have the boss and the boss's wife of Vision, of the job that he works at.
Yes.
At the table. The husband falls back and is choking. And the wife is going, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. But she's kind of doing it in a smiley way, which means that it just kind of shows she's being manipulated. Very dark. I'll let you get in, Dan, and talk. I've just dropped my phone.
Oh,
that's what made a big clunk.
Yeah, noise. I mean that scene is where it starts to, you start getting the hints of how this might unravel in later episodes where. We don't know their backstory. We don't know how we got from Endgame to Vision being back and them being together, right? But they don't know either. Like, it feels like Wanda just made up a fantasy, but it's like a dream, right? Like, you know certain parts of it, but you haven't constructed the outside world, and the backstory, you just sort of floated into it. So you could see like they get very nervous when they can't answer those questions, and it feels like something's gonna fall apart. Like we have no idea like if Vision remembers dying or what. Like we're gonna have to see how this whole thing unfolds, and it's like you said, it feels like it's going to be a slow burn. I very much enjoyed that the boss's wife was Deborah Jo Rupp from That 70s Show,
Yeah.
who Eric Foreman's mother. It probably would have been too much if they had gotten the husband from that show as well, but it would have been fun to see them together, and he would have been good in the role too. So it was always good to see her, and of course Catherine Hahn, as we're assuming that's going to be Agatha Harkness.
Yeah,
I guess she's called
Agnes
right now, but they're again, that's sort of hinting around it. So it's a weird episode. It's very much riffing off, like I said, like an episode of Bewitched, but with both of them having superpowers and acknowledging that and sort of living that hidden life. So we will have to see. I mean, we know that there's a lot of familiar faces that we're going to see down the line, right? Because what's her face from Thor? And Two Broke Girls, the intern, right?
Yeah,
like she's showing up. There's supposedly Sword showing up. I think it's, what's his name, Jimmy Woo. He's gonna show up later. Now he was in Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So they're drawing from a few different properties there. So we will see.
There was one thing that was kind of going to be quite significant, and I don't know what bearing the year 2023. Well, because on the calendar, she's there was kind of like something about the 23rd, and that was when the boss was.
Oh right. Oh, you think that's you think there's something deeper there, huh?
I just think it may be like a little Easter egg to the year 2023, which was effectively when everything that came back, or maybe that's the year in which stuff started going wrong, because that's the year that Tony Stark died, and that's the year when Cap went back in time to kind of return back the stones. So that may be the time when everything started. That's probably when the multiverse started opening. Yeah,
maybe.
So
we will have to see. We will have to see.
So a lot to take home, and we'll have to we'll talk about episode 2 next week.
I know. I will be watching it later tonight. Very much looking forward to it, and we will see where it all goes.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. Like, I wasn't particularly a massive fan of the episode until at the very end point, when you kind of learn that they're watching from the outside. It felt very incredibly slow burn for the first episode. I hope that people...
well, they're going in with a concept, right? Like, it's not... Like, I don't imagine with, say, something like Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is probably going to be very much grounded in reality and picking up more... Like, that will probably just jump right in. It's like, all right, what have Bucky and Sam been doing since Sam got the shield from old Cap? Like, that's not going to be one of those, like, okay, what's real, what's fake? Like, that's probably going to be much more grounded. Now, Loki could go in a million directions.
Yeah.
Because, again, alternate realities, time travel, like, who knows what they're going to do with that thing. Like, we might see female Loki. Pretty much anything's on the table for that one.
What are your thoughts on the 7 minutes of credits after it and the 22-minute runtime?
I don't know. I was kind of waiting for something meaningful to happen there.
Yeah.
Like that felt like a little bit of a tease, right? Because that's the first thing you're like, there's a lot of time here for them to play with. But it didn't seem like maybe I missed it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I guess
we'll see.
They're kind of creating every episode as kind of a not a movie. Well, it's kind of like a movie operation to do, but it's like I just find it quite weird because it's just like I'm watching 22 minutes and it's like, oh, it's over. It's like as soon as it starts, it's over. Feels like it's over. So I don't know if they'll down the line make these episodes a bit longer, or if they're gonna constantly go with the 22-minute runtime, especially whilst they're trying to get out of, and maybe that's the reason that they're pacing it up so they can get out of the period of years and ages, just to kind of then so as soon as we go to what's actually happening, that that then kind of like extends because there's more of a story narrative to tell about what the bloody hell's going on.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We knew this thing was going to be trippy, though.
Yeah, for sure.
So
right,
all right,
time to move on to Realm and talk a little bit about Marvel Realm.
That's right. The Red Hulks are on a rampage against our beloved Temple of Ashante.
Although there was a bit of confusion. Even like this week, I was looking forward to this new event, but what an event in Marvel Realm of Champions is very different from what is in MCOC, it seems.
Yes, we're learning that.
Yeah, so I was hoping, and even now, I've been trying to get into the Kamatage and play it for the first time, but I keep on missing out on time slots, because at the moment, how Marvel Realm works, if anybody is new to it, to kind of explain, they've got different type of modes: arena, stronghold, and deathmatch at the moment. The type of map that's changed seems to be centered around stronghold. So the way that you would get this is to when the map change happens, you're able to do it. Now I think in 11 minutes time, when we're recording this video on a Friday, it will then change to Kamatage. And I'll be able to play it for the very first time because I haven't been able to properly play it. Have you managed to play it yet, Dan?
I have not. I missed the window, and it wasn't. We were all confused, right? Because it wasn't live. The correct map for the event and the objectives was not live when the event went live. So we were all kind of like, all right, well, how do we do this? Because you have to play a certain mode on a certain map to achieve the objectives. And some of these objectives are pretty nice, so I would like to do them.
Kabam Thel said, apologies for any confusion that the Red Dawn event was created. The Kamatage map is now in a Stronghold map rotation and will be live next at 1 p.m. Eastern, at 1 p.m. PST time. So I think that's a lot later than... I don't know if I'm going to get an opportunity to play it then. If it only comes out at a certain time or it doesn't go into a decent enough rotation, I might have to have a look to see how it rotates. But, those objectives are nice. Now, I need some of the stuff from them badly, especially because, unrefined celestial remnants are incredibly rare to get. Basic catalysts are nice, but it's the raw refined ones? Is it raw refined or is it raw celestial remnants or something like that?
I think it's the unrefined celestial remnant.
That's it. Yeah,
because that's the smallest quantity one for the most games played. So that must be the more valuable one. Yeah. Raw is not as valuable as unrefined for whatever reason.
Yeah,
but I know I want to rank up my Sorcerer Supreme, so I need that for her gear.
Yeah, I need to get this new unit. Crates that's dropped, that's dropped. Man, I want it so badly. The epic bundle. Yeah. I just feel that like if I was to do 25 crates or 20, I would not get the. I wouldn't get 5 epics.
Yeah. No, probably not. Is there a published drop rate on that?
Yeah, 1.55%.
Whew, that's featured Cavalier territory.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, just having a quick look just here. Yeah. So for 2-star gear, 89.29% drop rate. Rare 3-star is 9.16, and then 4-star is at 1.55%. It's kind of like a no-brainer. I saw like a few kind of really tippity top people in the game kind of saying like, oh, you can get epic gear from other places. It's like, yeah, you can buy your battle rating milestones if you're high enough, but if you're looking to make some quick gains and guarantee yourself some epics, then I would recommend this. I'm kind of working towards it myself. I'm at 1,670 units, and I want it. Are you going for it, Dan?
Not yet. I maybe I'll get a couple for fun, but right now I'm hanging tight on my resources. I mean, I don't really. I have that nice orb for that 4-star orb. But yeah, as of right now, I'm still kind of holding off and just kind of working my way up, and I've got my Sorcerer Supreme and Defender tier. I'm working on Super Soldier. Really enjoying playing that guy. He is a lot of fun once you start getting the cycle correctly with his specials and the in and out. So I definitely want to push him up to Defender tier next. But I'm not super fussed about the gear chasing yet. It's more just like I'm going to build up my character and my battle rating, and once your character is at all the way to rank 3, it's really hard to collect enough tier 2 basic to get them to rank 4. So there's like once I kind of hit the wall with more characters, then I'll probably focus on the gear a little bit more, because that's my avenue for growth at that point.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying a few characters. There's a lot I've kind of built up to a certain point. Like I've got Iron Legionnaire that I really enjoy. I've just got him over. I got him over the Defender line, and I was like, I'm probably not going back to a few champions yet. I think the plan is, now that I've got them over Defender, is like, well, I'll just have them there just in case someone says, oh, have you got this? Can you use this? Right. And it's like, yeah, use it. I'm going to push one specific champion to be like my main champion, which Sorcerer Supreme is, and I need and want to get it up to 1,250, which it's on the process now. I kind of had some time, so I played with DiceMan and Brightmaster, and did up to 970. So I just need to push that a bit further on as well, and just grow some of these the other side champions a bit more, because I've been a little bit lazy with. I want to do some more Black Panther. I'm just relearning because I got the spear, because I hate the claws. Oh,
you like the spear, huh? I haven't tried out the spear yet. It looks nasty.
Yeah,
it's been killed a lot of times with that spear.
It's really kind of erratic, and it's kind of, but it's good. I've got to learn a bit more with Black Panther to be more of a rogue and a more stealthy type player. Yeah. Which with different champions, there's different narratives to how you play it, but also there's multiple narratives as to how you gear a champion, which is still something I don't think a lot of players are getting. The way that you would play with different types of weapons, you would basically play a different way. With Iron Legionnaire, there are some people that still use the blasters, and I'm like, oh god, the blasters. I'm more like I'm more of a drones player with.
Yeah, I've definitely been seeing mostly drones. I think the Spider-Man, you're seeing people using both weapons though. Still a lot, and I prefer the I prefer the first one that we got actually with that. I'm trying to remember all the different.
There's a Gatling web shooters, and there's the standard web shooters.
Engineered
web shooters.
Yeah, engineered web shooters. I don't know. I like the SP2 a little bit better on that one.
Yeah.
So that's been. I mean, there's that great play, right, where if you're defending the Bodok and then it gets kicked out, and you can immediately SP2 them, and your Bodok can hit them with the rockets. So you can then you're in a 3-on-2. You've got a real nice shot of winning the round.
Yeah, I don't like the SP2 on the Gatling shooters. I just find it's just a weak, weird and wild spread. Whereas with
I agree. It's been a little hard to lock that in for me when I've tried it.
The way that and as I hit nail on the head there, with the SP1, 2, and 3, there's a really good way that you can just like throw one, throw the other, and throw the final one, and you've ended up just knocking a champion out.
Right, you set yourself up for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're very clever, you can do stuff with your team. If like your team know your play style, or you kind of agree, or you're on comms and stuff, at least you can say like, if you need someone to be rooted still to like put something down on the field, like a sorcerer SP2 or a Black Panther to kind of target one specific champion, then you've got that option to keep somebody still in place, keep them rooted, and maximize damage to one specific champion and one specific enemy team member, so you just completely obliterate somebody.
Yeah, I think, and that's so important, right? Where you get your 2-on-1s and you take somebody out really quickly. I think that's something as players we all need to work on, is like not getting the opponent down to like 25% and then letting them off the map, right? Like letting them get away, letting them get to their healer, or letting them get to a potion, right? Because that's going to come back to bite you. Like, you really need to have a plan to systematically take apart the opposing team and not let them get away. Because you can see these smart teams where it's like they send one in and then they're at 50% health, and then they back out and they send in the other guy, and they're just running clock on you. And building time to heal, and it's really smart gameplay. So you gotta kind of recognize that when it's happening to you. Yeah,
I absolutely love Realm at the moment. I'm just so into it, but I think it's because it kind of speaks to. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with contest, but I like the way that it plays out. I don't know why there's something very. This is live PvP, where MCOC is.
It's very fun. There's an emotional reaction when you win.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that a little before. It's the thing I worry about with Realm is like it's so dependent on its players. Like, if I'm playing, I'm dependent on the other two people I'm matched with, that they're smart, skilled players. Like, if I feel like they're wasting my time, I could feel like the game is wasting my time. Yeah. So I think that's something that they have to be very conscientious about as they continue to refine their matchmaker. Now, hopefully, as we get leveled up, it won't be as bad, right? But in the early going, like, I mean, I'm sure you've had those matchups where you're just like, what are they doing? Like, why is Sorcerer Supreme standing in front of my Hulk? Like, how could you not like just obvious stuff?
Yeah, we've now come to a point where when this kind of the strategy of splitting apart, like the biggest issue is Hulk with those fists at the moment for me is a big problem, and as you get
a big problem to play against or play as?
Play against. So the way that, and if you've got a Hulk and a Cap on your enemy team, you need to really work hard to counteract that. There may be somebody going, oh yes, I know how to counter that. Yes and no. You always have to keep distance and well spread apart, because when that Hulk wants to come in and jump and knock everybody out or knock everybody to the ground, it's going to mean that there's 3 of you knocked down, which means that if the enemies see this, they can just swarm you in an instant. So
not a good time.
You've got to space out, and that's the thing. Like, that's a lot of time you find that you might die. It's like you're having a Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, bunch up, do that healing kind of like in the circumference. But as soon as that Hulk comes down, you're gonna all be just obliterated.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And it's like
Hulk smash.
Yeah, Hulk smash. And this is the thing about I love the strategy is like looking at every fight and going like, okay, well, what didn't work this time, and then kind of rectifying it to then understand what worked in the next time. This is why I'm growing Rich's Realm around the idea of like strategy and understanding. I will probably keep back some elements of strategy myself, and some things of how I build certain things, because when I'm doing well, I don't want to kind of like give away too much to like go like, well, anybody could just follow what I'm doing, and like, you know, then the secret, the cat's out of the bag. But I will give some.
Yeah, you got to save the RichTheMan secret sauce.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be some tips and tricks I'll definitely give out to people, but just to kind of to find what's the best thing to fit, because at the end of the day, you might not get the same gear that I get, and you might not choose to build.
You couldn't even duplicate it if you wanted to.
Exactly. That could be the other thing. But I don't. Also, like, if I kind of go like, okay, here's the reasons I decided to go off this way, and then people go, oh, there's the person that does Rich's Realm YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. He's doing his strategy.
You should just do it as like a troll guide and be like, all right, so step 1 is you get 5 epic drops in a row.
It's actually I'm doing this and this, but to be honest, I'm telling you this, but I'm not doing it. That's how you do it. That's how you kind of.
That's how you do it.
That's how you mess around with people. I did put out a video this week about being free to play, and we're both free to play at the moment. We both agreed that we'd like to see something of a monthly thing similar to the Summoner's Sigil, but in this game. I know we've talked about this in the past. It's like, if anybody hasn't seen the video of like why I'm free to play currently, is I just want to start this kind of account off and my Grinding Marvel Realm to give people this perspective that you don't need to feel that the game requires you to spend money. If people complain about going, oh, you've got to spend money in order to get like this gear and that gear, because at the end of the day, this will be a case of going, look, you can make it, you can grind out, and you can get it. I will at some point choose to spend money in the game, and whether or not I buy like I don't know, some sort of unit deal that would benefit grabbing some stuff here or there. But I just want to continue on that idea that if people complain, and if like YouTubers, content creators, influencers, or people complain that you need to get the gear, you need to buy the gear to like get good in the game, that's not the case. If you grind out, and also you get your basic deals from basic crystals from objectives, which this week, Dan, I've got 2 epic pieces of gear from basic crystals.
Nice.
Didn't you get something similar when it came to that orb?
Yes. Yeah. So that was that orb too. Yeah. I want to say that was from a calendar crystal. So it wasn't. I think it was a calendar crystal.
No, I think you're right. Actually, I think I got from a calendar crystal an epic.
But I mean,
that's
that's just for playing the game, right? Like,
and like you don't need to be. You don't need to be like at the. I won't say like. Did you have to be defender in it? No. There was no progression based system in place. Everybody got it, and that's the thing. You know, Kabam want to encourage you to play stuff, so it's like it starts you off this kind of like narrative of like, why not? Why not play Marvel Realm of Champions? Because they are.
You certainly don't need to spend to have fun.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's we will have to see where it goes as far as like the truly competitive aspects of the game, and if they bring in leaderboards. But if you want to get in there and have fun, absolutely go for it.
Yeah. Apart from that, I'm having a great time grinding out in Realm.
Me too. And we're gonna get in there on Monday.
Yes, that's what we're gonna do.
And you know, folks, if you wonder why Rich and I get along so well, it's we just complement each other, because you know, he wants to play Sorcerer Supreme, I want to play Sorcerer Supreme, but I'm an orb guy, he's a book guy. We've got that tome, and you know, we just complement each other. You know, we know our roles.
Yeah, and we're both gonna do massive amounts of damage, and
we're gonna do so much damage, and we're just gonna upset lots of people with that double Sorcerer Supreme setup. Because would you see a double Sorcerer Supreme and one of them's got tome and one of them's got the orb, like, you know that's on purpose. Like, that's being done to you. So that's gonna be fun, because I remember last time we played, we definitely ran into a few double Sorcerer Supreme teams that were running that setup, and we're like, there's no accident.
That's true. We'll have to get somebody in to do. I'll speak to one of the other lads to see, like, say, like, by the way, we're going to be doing this. If you want to run a tank to build up during that time frame, this is a good opportunity.
That would be perfect.
Right, I think that's concluded the full show talking about MCOC, WandaVision, and MROC. And thank you everybody for listening and in. And Dan, have you got any content you're focusing on, or any kind of things you're releasing next week?
Yeah, I'm working on a Killmonger guide right now.
Nice.
So that's something I've wanted to do for a while. That character has so many tips and tricks. They're just a wonderful kit. So I've been meaning to write that one for a while, and finally sitting down and getting it out this weekend.
Brilliant. I have no idea what I'm doing next week. I need to actually check my list of stuff. Oh yeah, maybe the video that I accidentally scheduled in for Monday this week has to go live next week.
Oh man,
I hate my life.
That was that was a rough way to start off the week.
Yeah,
I know it was a complete accident. That was one of those things where you were trying to do a million things at once.
Oh.
And I've been there too. I know how it feels.
Thank God the week is over, and next week can be starting off just fresh, and I can then kind of go like, right, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm making. But I'm kind of like trying to take it a little bit easier, because I do want to do the more intensive Act 7 grinds and stuff. So I think that's probably the plan, is to then do a big Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday stream on that stuff. But I'm going to be doing Marvel Realm on Monday with you after I post Marvel Contest of Champions news, if there is any news to go over. But that's been a show. Thank you everyone for listening. We're available, links in the description. So with Dan, we're at www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog, and we'll see you all next week for episode 48. Bye bye. There we go.